What's good, YouTube? An early video going into the night, into the early morning. Today we're going to talk about Jonathan Simmons, the Orlando Magic. I told you guys when Frank Vogel got fired from the Indiana Pacers, I thought it was dumb, honestly, because he showed that he can take any roster that they have, even though they're in the weak Eastern Conference. He can take any roster that they have and make a run at the playoffs. They almost made the playoffs with Paul George being out when he broke his leg, and they came close to making the playoffs without him. They was hovering around that 8th, 7th seed spot, but they ended up bottoming out. He came back and they didn't make the playoffs, but he showed that he can compete with basically less talent, and now he's in Orlando doing his thing. I'm not going to jump on the Orlando Magic train saying they're the best team in the East. They're one of the best teams in the East, and they going to make the playoffs. But I do want to tell you guys, like I said, in the free agency, that Jonathan Simmons is a guy that I like. And the reason why I say that, the first time I seen Jonathan Simmons play, the guy stood out on my TV. The reason why I say that is because he has a lot of hustle. He plays with a lot of heart. He has the intensity. He has the tangibles. He's not scared to take late second shots. He's not scared to go to the basket, go to the free throw line, finish over people, layups. He gets out in transition. He runs. He finishes plays. He execute. He doesn't need the ball. If he has the ball, he's not scared to make plays. He reads the defense, makes smart decisions, do backdoor cuts, settles for the three. Not that much, but he's not scared to take the spot up three when necessary. Orlando didn't really give him the minutes, and now they're seeing the value of how good a player like Jonathan Simmons is. And I know it. I knew it already because I was already a fan of his for the last couple of years. I told the San Antonio Spurs fan during my hot topic that I'd rather have Jonathan Simmons over Rudy Gay. Right now, I can't tell you because Rudy Gay having a decent season off the bench for the Spurs, and he can have a crazy depth lineup with Kawhi, Rudy, DeJounte Murray, and Danny Green, which is what I was about to say, and LaMarcus Aldridge at the 5. They can play Paul at the 5. That lineup is lanky. It is long. It is scary. We haven't really seen it that much. But when it was on some games that I did see, it was deadly and it was hard to guard, especially when you have that ball movement in the floor spacing. It's a hard team to guard, but you cannot replace the heart. Rudy Gay is a little streaky. Rudy Gay is a little settled for jump shots. Jonathan Simmons plays off instincts. He knows when to attack. He knows when to shoot. He knows when to get out and run. He has active hands. He's not scared to go in there and block shots because you risk the chance of getting on a poster or being embarrassed. He plays with intense. I just like the guy. And now I'm not trying to rub it in the Spurs' face, but the guy's averaging 16 points off the bench. The most minutes he got in a game was 32, and that was against the Charlotte Hornets. Rudy Gay has yet to crack 20 points. Jonathan Simmons scored 27 and 20 in back-to-back games. He even had a 19-point game against the Cleveland Cavaliers. The dude shot 52% in his first couple games and 53% from the three-point line. And he's not the greatest free throw shooter, but he also doesn't take that many depending on the game because he does come off the bench. And it's going to be important to see if he can continue having his role, or is a coach like Frank Vogel that likes to slow the game down a little bit, likes to beat you up, likes to have perimeter defenders that force you into other defenders and build walls and use their athleticism to cripple you and make you take tough shots. I like Frank Vogel, and I like how he's utilizing Jonathan Simmons and letting him be who he is and letting him be himself, and ain't forcing him to fit in the offense. He's allowing him to play within the offense while still playing to his strengths and still having an efficient game. He was efficient when he played with the Spurs, obviously, because he shot 50% once already with them. Because he picks his spots from the score, he's not forcing anything. He's not trying too hard. The guy is a guy that you want on your roster, whether he's starting or coming off the bench, because to me, he's just a winner. A guy that went to the D-League, used that as a stepping stone, as a learning curve, and he went to one of the hardest coaches in the NBA to play for and earn minutes. Remember, Tony Parker is a finals MVP. He's a multiple-time champion. He said that Greg Popovich was so hard on him that he used to cry. And Jonathan Simmons was able to go through the D League all the way to make a roster spot on this San Antonio team and play good enough to get minutes, not only in the regular season, but meaningful minutes in the playoffs. And even when he got the meaningful minutes in the playoffs, he still was able to deliver in that Houston series, in that Golden State series. Was it the best that you see? No, because he's still developing. He's still new to the game of basketball on an elite level. And the Warriors is one of the best defensive teams in the league. And the Rockets, they can play defense when they want to. They can get active hands. They can contest. And they can get out there and defend when they want to, especially in the last couple minutes. Basically 6 minutes or less in the fourth quarter, the Rockets really lock in and try to come up with the W. So those teams are not easy to beat. And I'm not saying that it was supposed to be that way, but Jonathan Simmons only played 3 years, and this is his third year, and he hasn't completed the season. And he averaged 15 against the Warriors, and only 34 minutes was his highest. He was getting 25 minutes a game in Golden State, and he averaged 15 points a game. Against Houston, he averaged 13 points a game on 47% shooting, but the highest minutes he got that series was 32, and he was able to put in an 18 7-point game. And he even played against the Grizzlies, but he only averaged 10 minutes. But he didn't become a factor until Kawhi Leonard got injured and they needed him. So I like that he got paid. The thing that's best about Jonathan Simmons, though, he only was getting paid $8 million. He's not getting paid 10. He's not getting paid 15. He's not getting paid 20. You're getting a guy that plays this hard, play with this much energy, and you're only paying him $8 million a season. And the Spurs did not want to give him that. He was a restricted free agent on top of that, and they let him walk. And now I like what he's doing. He didn't take it as a negative. He didn't take it that nobody in the league wants him. As soon as he got released from the Spurs, they wasn't going to sign him to a contract. He went out there, signed with the Magic the next day, and now he's making an impact, living his dream, and he's showing how great of a player he can be. Is I'm saying he's an all-star? Is I'm saying he's a superstar? No. He's potentially a starter depending on the team, depending on the lineup, and depending on how the offense is ran, because he does little things that keeps everybody watching him, because you don't know where he's going to be. You don't know if he's going to be open. You don't know when he's doing a backdoor cut. You don't know when he's moving the ball, where he can end up at. And he's showing that he can knock down shots from all variety, and he has diversity in scoring. And I like the things that he do, and I had to make the video because I'm liking him. They're winning games, and he's a guy that's not getting that much attention. A guy that not too many people looked at in a free agency. Even when I made the video, a lot of people didn't even make a video about Jonathan Simmons because he's an unknown guy. But he stood out to me, and I'm liking what he's doing now. And like I said, if he can continue doing this on the regular basis for the Magics, even if he get minutes increased, but if he continue to come off the bench, he can potentially be a sixth man of the year because his team is winning. And I do like Frank Vogel, so I think it can continue. So we'll see. I'm not going to overreact. I'm not going to overblow it because Jonathan Simmons, like I said, against the Warriors, he didn't shoot 50% from the field, but that's one of the top defenses in the league. He averaged 15 points against the Warriors coming off the bench, and that's against one of the best defensive teams in the league. And he's averaging 16 off the bench with the Magics, and he only had 30-minute game, and he had scored over 20 points that game. So the guy can play. And at the end of the day, I had to give him a video again to show that I'm a fan of what he's doing. As a matter of fact, the game that he played 32 minutes in, he had 27 points for the Magic. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think Jonathan Simmons can win Sixth Man of the Year? Do you think he's undervalued at $8 million? Do you think he's a great player? Do you think he's a good player? Do you think he's just a role player? Do you think he can potentially be a starter? Let me know your thoughts and how do you feel about Jonathan Simmons. I'm a fan. The first couple times I watched him, he was getting steals. He was getting out in transition. He was knocking down threes, and he stepped up against the best team in the NBA and the eventual champions, the Warriors. So I got nothing but positive things to say about him. I'm a fan of him. I want to see how far he can go. I want to see if he can get to that all-star level. He's a hard worker. He's determined. And if he can fight through all that adversity and play for a coach and earn minutes, especially against a Golden State Warriors team in the playoffs, the guy has to have some type of talent because Greg Popovich wouldn't play him in that case. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Check out my website at NosPlayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Also, check out my Facebook page. AnonymousPlayground.com. Link them in the comment section description. Click the link, send it to my Facebook page. Click the link and send it to my website. Sign up to become a user on the website, and also like if you're not on Facebook, like for my Facebook page to show support. That's all I'm asking you guys to do. Quinn Wade Basketball Announcer signing out, and let me know what you guys think about Jonathan Simmons. I'm going.